What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And today I want to talk to you about used games and gaming in general. It's a topic du jour, and right now they're making final decision over there at Xbox and over there at PlayStation as to whether or not they're going to put in used DRM, used game DRM. And we're going to talk about that here real quick as to why I think they should not prevent used games from being used. I think having access to used games is important, and I'll explain to you why in great detail. And maybe they'll see this, maybe they won't, maybe you will enjoy the opinion, maybe you can share my opinion with them. It's all up to you. But you may not like everything I have to say, but I ask you to bear with me, stick out through the whole thing. But first, a little bit about me. I'm a gamer. 38 years old. I've been gaming the entirety of my life. I've owned consoles all the way back to the Atari 2600. Right now in my house is an Xbox 360, a PlayStation 3, a Wii U, a Wii, a 3DS, an Apple iPad, and an Android tablet, and I use all of these to game. Every single one of them are used to game. On top of that, there's also a PC, which I'm recording on. It's my workstation, and I also play games here. And I have a pretty good idea of how gaming works on all of these systems. And I play the exclusives. So if a game is PC exclusive, like World of Warcraft, I play it here. If it's a Zelda title, I play it on my Wii or my Wii U. Hopefully there will be one for the Wii U. If it's for Xbox, if it's Halo, I'm going to play it there. If it's Infamous, I'm going to play it on my PlayStation. It's just how it is. It's how I do. I don't care about customer loyalty. I don't care about brands. I care about games. I care about intellectual property work. And I want to play those games. I want to have access to them. And I'm going to play them. Okay? And that's me in general. Now, the majority of my purchases are made on Steam. And Steam is a digital distribution system. All of the games that I buy for my PC, I never get a physical copy. They come directly downloaded from Steam. They're tied to my Steam account. And for as long as I have access to my Steam account and Steam still exists, I have access to those video games. It can be taken away if my account gets banned or hacked. It can be taken away if Steam disappears. That kind of sucks. But with that comes some convenience. Number one, I never have to go to Walmart. I never have to go to GameStop, and you should never be going to GameStop, by the way, but that's another point for later in the video. I can simply click a button, I can make the purchase, it's downloaded to my PC, I can play it there, I can re-download it later, I have a huge back catalog of games that I got very inexpensively because of the digital distribution system. Since there's no physical copy, it's good for the environment. It's good because there's no trucks trucking video games back and forth from Walmart to Target or warehouse to Target, warehouse to Walmart. It's good for convenience. It's good for pricing because it's often cheaper. Ubisoft sells all of their titles $10 cheaper through the digital distribution systems of Uplay and Steam, and that's awesome. Okay, and also when I buy new titles for my consoles, I download them direct to drive. I do that for my Xbox. When I bought the last console game I bought was PlayStation All Stars, and I got it direct to drive on my PlayStation. Actually, I did buy Infamous, and I wanted to get the collector's edition, so I don't always do that. But most of the time, it's direct to drive. It's convenient for me. That's my preferred way of doing business. But I'm speaking from a place of luxury. I'm a lower middle class American with expendable income, and my job is to purchase and talk about video games. So it's even a tax write-off for me. I get to order or pre-order the collector's edition. I get to download it directly. I never have to worry about reselling it. I never have to worry about loading it out. I never have to worry about getting it cheap. I just get to enjoy gaming. I'm lucky. Okay? I'm a rare commodity when it comes to that. It's not always been that way for me. When I was growing up, the only video games I owned were the games that came with the system when we bought it. Every game I played growing up, whether it was Legend of Zelda, whether it's Phantasy Star Online, whether it was SimCity for the Super Nintendo, well, it doesn't matter. I rented it. We couldn't afford games. We couldn't afford used games. So we rented them. And when you take away used games, you take away the rental system too. And you're cutting young Boogie out. I could not afford games. I was not going to be able to afford games. My parents were not going to waste $50, $60, $70 on a new copy of a game. They're not going to try to wait till it's on sale 2 years later. It simply was never going to happen. Renting games was my only access, and that's true of a lot of people today. We are in the middle of a crumbling economy. There are the target demographic for video games is poor people. You have to keep that in mind. We buy 3 or 4 titles a year if we're lucky. We often get them on sale. We often get them used. If you're rich, chances are you're doing stuff that other people can't afford to do. It's the person who's stuck at home, who doesn't have a lot of friends, who doesn't have a lot of money. If you can go surfing off of the Keys, you're going to do that, okay? But otherwise, you're going to join an adventure with Booker DeWitt, okay, and through the world of Bioshock Infinite, because you can't afford to do much else. That's who your target demographic is. So, used games benefit poor people, and poor people is your target demographic. Cut away that, and you cut away a large portion of your gaming base. If you'd taken that away when I was a kid, if I could not have rented games when I was a kid, I wouldn't be a gamer. I'd probably be a lot healthier, probably be a lot skinnier, probably have a better tan. But I probably also would not be a gamer. You cut that out now, the next generation of poor kids don't get to be gamers either, and that sucks. And I'm not just talking about the kid who saves up his money, okay, after mowing a couple lawns, who goes down to his local video store or goes down to the local red box of the drugstore and rents a copy of Call of Duty, and Call of Duty becomes his best friend on the weekends. Okay, you exclude that kid from being able to get a rental copy. You exclude that kid from being able to get a cheap used copy or a copy that his friend no longer needs. You lock him from his best friend. And I'm also talking about the college student who goes to Walmart on the weekend to buy his week's worth of ramen to stay alive, and just happens to have an extra dollar in his pocket and happens to see Bioshock Infinite in the machine on his way out and says, I can afford to take an adventure this one night with Booker DeWitt and Elizabeth and enjoy myself and get away from the trials and tribulations of life. You're blocking that guy. And you're blocking out the guy who works hard every day at a middle-class job to put food on his table for his kids and clothes on his kids' back and put a roof over their head, bought his kid a PlayStation 3 for Christmas, and has been waiting to get a copy of the next Little Big Planet on sale, used, or through Craigslist, or given to him by a friend, okay? You're excluding that guy from enjoying that experience with his kid. It's not fair. It's not right. It's justifiable. It's more profitable, but it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it the thing you should be considering doing. Now, I've heard the whole reason this is happening is because you guys don't like the used game cycle at GameStop. When I go into GameStop and I lay down a $60 copy of a game, the guy will say, don't you want to get the used copy? Save $5? $5, by the way. Save $5. But, okay. And some of us say yes, because we get to save $5, because money is important to us. In fact, the fact that there's a used game market at all is proof that we're suffering, that we're in a crumbling economy, that we have to save every dime that we can get. If you don't like the business practices of GameStop, then you need to stop practicing business with GameStop. It's pretty simple. You can't change this law. You can't fix it. Okay? You want your chunk of that money. You need to deal with GameStop, not us. You can't leave that middle-class father, that poor college kid, that teenager from an underprivileged family. You can't leave these people as casualties in a war with GameStop. Don't do it. And that leads me to my final point, by the way. If you're a gamer and you shop at GameStop and you're buying used games from them, or you're selling your games to them, you are doing a great disservice to yourself. It's something you really should not be doing. Okay? Not when you've got friends in high school or people in your high school or gaming who could buy that copy from you. Not when there's Craigslist, not when there's eBay, not when there's better and easier ways to sell used copies of the game. If you're taking $5 or $10 in trade-in value for your $60 game so that they can sell it for $55, you're screwing yourself over. Not only are you screwing over the industry you love, you're screwing yourself over. And the other way that you can approach this, the other way that you can fix this, is by realizing that a game that comes out may be worth $60 when it comes out. That's entirely true. But if it's digitally distributed through Xbox Live, okay, if it's digitally distributed through the PlayStation Store or the Wii U Store, it's not worth $60. It's probably worth $50. Because nobody's spending gas to get it to my hometown. No one's trucking it here. You never had to print a physical copy. So it's okay to offer me a discount to get it digitally. okay, in a way that I can't sell it, I can't move it, I can't use it, I can't give it away. That's good. That's okay. Give me an incentive to buy a copy that I can't sell to GameStop, and I will. And you need to realize that after a game's been available for about 30 days and the hype has died down, its value has dramatically increased. It's now $45 at GameStop instead of $60. You want $60 for the new one, I'm going to pay $45 for it. Steam understands this. Even the people making Apple apps understand this. Adapt to that model. Discounts, sales, save me money, and I'll never walk into GameStop again. Not that I would ever walk into GameStop again. Just saying.